Guruji. Anandam Shukrana Guruji for blessing us with this divine seva of reading as well as listening to this beautiful Shivpuran. This reading of this Granth and listening to this Granth not only expiates our sins, it also opens the doors of salvation. So thank you Guruji for giving us this seva. Beginning with the synopsis of last week. Last week we read chapter 11 and 12 of Rudra Samhita section 5. In this we read that after the 3 cities were burnt by Lord Shiva, Vyasa then requested Sanat Kumara to narrate what happened after these 3 cities were burnt by Lord Shiva, what happened to the gods, what happened to Maya after it was spared by Lord Shiva, and where did the ascetics go. So to this, Sanat Kumara told Vyasa that after Lord Shiva burnt the 3 cities, the gods stood there utterly surprised to see the terrific form of Lord Shiva, which was resplendent like thousands of suns, and it dazzled the 10 quarters, and they stood there in fright. And then Brahma, Vishnu and all the other gods bowed down in front of the Lord, eulogized him greatly, and with palms joined in reverence they requested Lord to be pleased with them. So Lord Shiva, being the benevolent Lord that he is, he was pleased with these gods and asked them to request for a boon. So all the gods unanimously requested the Lord to always be with them and appear if any misery befalls on gods and destroy that misery or mishap. So Lord Shiva granted them that boon. Then in the meantime, Maya, who was spared by the grace of Lord Shiva, came there, and again he bowed down in front of the Lord and eulogized him, and with pure devotion and a choking voice he requested Lord Shiva for permanent devotion and his auspicious worship. So Lord Shiva was pleased with him and he granted him the boon. He also told Maya that he should go to a region named Vitala, which was more beautiful than heaven, and stay there. So after bowing down to the Lord, Maya went to Vitala region. Lord Shiva also granted him another boon, that he would not have any demon instinct despite being a asura. So after that he stayed there in Vitala. Then came heretics with tonsured heads, and they asked Lord Vishnu and other gods that what would happen to them, where would they go, because they had performed wicked deeds. So Vishnu told them that since they were devotees of Lord Shiva, no misery would befall them, and from then onwards till the advent of Kali age, they were told to go incognito in a desert region, and as soon as Kali age begins, they were allowed to propagate their cult, and it was told to them that foolish, deluded minds would follow their cult. And as directed by the gods, they went to their designated abode, and after that all the delighted Lord Shiva vanished from there, and all the other gods also went back to their abodes. Today we will be reading chapter 13, which is the resuscitation of Indra and the context of destruction of Jalandhara, and chapter 14, which is the birth and marriage of Jalandhara. Today Urvashi Aunty will be reading these chapters in English. We do not have Hindi reading today. Enjoy the reading. Jai Guruji, Shukrana.
Jai Guruji, Shukrana for this best seva. Chapter 13. The resuscitation of Indra in the context of the destruction of Jalandhara. Vyasa said, O Holy Lord, son of Brahma, it has been heard by me before that the Lord Shiva killed the great Asura Jalandhara. O intelligent one, please narrate the story of the moon-crested Lord in detail. Who can be satiated with listening to the spotless glory of the Lord? Suta said, on being requested thus by Vyasa, the great sage and son of Brahma of eloquent speech spoke the following significant words without excitement. Sanat Kumara said, O sage, once Brahaspati and Indra went to Kailasha with great devotion to see Lord Shiva. Coming to know of the arrival of Brahaspati and Indra, eager to see him, Lord Shiva wished to test their knowledge. Accordingly, the Lord, the excellent goal of the good, stood blocking their path in the naked form with matted hair and beaming face. Brahaspati and Indra were walking on gleefully. On their way, they saw this wonderful person of huge size. He was quiet and composed and very refulgent, with matted hair on his head. He was fair complexioned, with long arms and wide chest. He was terrible to look at. Without realizing that the person who stood there, blocking their path was Shiva himself. Indra, who was proud of his authority, said to him, Indra said, "Oh, who are you? Where have you come from? What is your name? Tell me truly. Is the Lord Shiva in his apartment or has he gone anywhere?" Sanat Kumar said, "O sage, on being asked by Indra thus, he did not say anything. Indra asked him again, but the naked person did not say anything. Indra, the supreme lord of the worlds, asked again. The Lord, the great Yogin, who assumes forms variously, kept quiet. The naked Lord, though asked repeatedly by Indra, did not say anything, for he wanted to test the knowledge of Indra. Then the Lord of gods, proud of the wealth of the three worlds, became enraged. Rebuking the Lord with matted hair, he spoke these words. Indra said, "O evil-minded one, though asked, you did not reply to me. Hence, I am going to kill you with my thunderbolt. Who can save you?" Sanat Kumar said. After saying this and looking at him ferociously, Indra raised his thunderbolt in order to kill him. On seeing Indra lifting up his thunderbolt, Shiva prevented the fall of the thunderbolt by making his hand benumbed. Then Shiva became furious. His eyes became terrible. He blazed with his burning splendor. Then Indra burnt within himself by the benumbing of his arm like a serpent, whose exploits had been curbed by pronouncing magical formulas. On seeing him resplendent, Brahaspati realized immediately that he was Lord Shiva himself and bowed to him. Then the noble-minded Brahaspati joined his palms in reverence. He prostrated before him on the ground and began to eulogize the Lord. Brahaspati said, "Obeisance to Shiva, the chief lord of the gods, the supreme soul, the three-eyed, possessed of matted hair. Obeisance to the succoring lord of the distressed, the destroyer of Andhaka and the Tripuras, and identical with Brahma, the Paramesthin. Obeisance to Shiva of odd eyes, of diverse, deformed and surpassing features, going beyond all forms. Obeisance to the destroyer of sacrifice of Daksha, to the bestower of fruits of sacrifice, identical with sacrifice and the initiator of the greatest rites. Obeisance to Shiva, the annihilator of time, of the form of time, the wearer of black serpents, the great Lord, and the omnipresent. Obeisance to the destroyer of Brahma's head, the one eulogized by Brahma and the moon. Obeisance to you, favorably disposed to Brahmins. Obeisance to you, the great soul. You are the fire, the wind, the ether, the waters, the earth, the sun, the moon, the stars, and the solar system. You alone are Vishnu, Brahma, and eulogized by them. You are the great Lord, the sages, Sanaka, etc. You are Narada, the great saint. You alone are the Lord of all the worlds, the soul of the universe. You are converging in everything and different from everything. You alone are greater than Prakriti. With the Rajas attribute, you alone create the worlds, assuming the name Brahma. You are identical with Vishnu in Sattva attribute, and you protect the entire universe. With the Tamas attribute, you assume the form of Shiva, O great God, and you alone devour the universe composed of 5 elements. With the strength of meditating on you, O creator of the universe, the sun blazes, the moon exudes nectar, and the wind blows. O Shiva, with the strength of meditating on you, the clouds shower water. Indra protects the worlds like his sons. With the strength of meditating on you, the clouds, the gods, and the great sages carry their tasks. They are afraid of you. O Shiva, by serving your lotus-like feet, the people in the world do not honor the gods, and they enjoy the prosperity of the world. By serving your lotus-like feet, the people attain the supreme goal. inaccessible to everyone and unattainable even to yogins. Sanat Kumar said, after eulogizing Sanat Kumar said, after eulogizing Shiva, the benefactor of the worlds, thus Brahaspati made Indra fall at the feet of Shiva. After making Indra, lord of the gods, fall at his feet with bowed head, Brahaspati humbly spoke these words to Shiva with bowed head. Brahaspati said, O great Lord, favorable to the distressed, please raise up Indra, fallen at your feet. Please quieten the anger rising from your eyes. O great Lord, be pleased. Protect Indra, who has sought refuge in you. Let this fire rising from the eye in the forehead be rendered calm. Sanat Kumar said, on hearing these words of Brahaspati, Shiva, the Lord of gods, the ocean of mercy, spoke in a thundering, stentorian voice. Lord Shiva said, O Brahaspati, how can I take up the fury that has already come out of my eye? A serpent does not wear again the slough that has been cast off. Sanat Kumar said, on hearing these words of Shiva, Brahaspati's mind was agitated with fear and he spoke dejectedly. Brahaspati said, O holy Lord, indeed the devotees should be pitied always. O Shiva, thus please make your name, Bhaktavatsala, favorably disposed towards the devotees, true. O Lord of gods, you deserve to cast elsewhere the fierce brilliance. O uplifter of all devotees, raise up Indra. Sanat Kumara said, on being addressed thus by Brahaspati, the delighted Shiva, the destroyer of the distress of those who bow to him, and the one named Bhaktavatsala, replied thus to Brahaspati. Shiva said, O dear one, I am delighted by your eulogy. I shall grant you the excellent boon. Henceforth you shall be famous as enlivener because you have conferred life on Indra. I shall cast off this fire, born of my eye, in the forehead intended to kill Indra, lest it should afflict him. On saying this, he held that wonderful brilliance born of the eye in the forehead and cast it off in the briny ocean. Then the Lord Rudra, of great divine sports, vanished from the scene. Brahaspati and Indra were relieved of their fight and they became happy. After having the immediate perception of Shiva for which they had come here, Brahaspati and Indra became contented and went away to their abodes joyously. Chapter 14. The birth of Jalandhara and his marriage. Vyasa said, O omniscient Sanat Kumar, son of Brahma, obeisance be to you. This wonderful story of Shiva, the great soul, has been heard. O sage, when the brilliance born of the eye in the forehead had been cast off into the briny ocean, O dear sir, what happened? Please narrate it quickly. Sanat Kumara said, O dear one of great intellect, listen to the extremely wonderful sport of Shiva, on hearing which, with faith, a devotee attains the goal of yogins. The brilliance of Shiva, born of the eye in the forehead and cast off into the briny sea, immediately assumed the form of a boy. At the confluence of the river Ganga and the ocean, the boy of terrific features cried loudly. At the sound of the crying boy, the earth quaked frequently. The heaven and the Satyaloka became deafened at the noise. All the worlds were frightened. The guardians of the quarters became agitated in the mind. O dear Holy One, O great Brahmin, the entire world, including the mobile and immobile, quaked at the cries of the boy. Then the distressed gods and the sages immediately sought refuge in Brahma, the grandfather and preceptor of the worlds. After going there, those sages and the gods, including Indra, bowed to and eulogized Brahma and spoke these words. The god said, This mysterious sound has arisen. O Lord of worlds, O Lord of gods, we are frightened. O great Yogin, please quell it. Sanat Kumara said, on hearing their words, Brahma, the grandfather of the worlds, wished to go there. He was perplexed as to what it was. Then Brahma descended from Satyaloka to the earth along with the gods. Then he went to the ocean, desirous of knowing what it was. When Brahma, the grandfather of the worlds, came there, he saw the boy in the lap of the ocean. On seeing Brahma coming, the ocean, assuming the form of a god, bowed to him and placed the boy in his lap. Then the surprised Brahma spoke these words to the ocean. O ocean, tell me quickly about the parentage of this boy. Sanat Kumara said, on hearing the words of Brahma, the ocean was delighted. After bowing to and eulogizing him with palms joined in reverence, he replied to Prajapati Brahma. The ocean said, O Brahma, O Lord of the worlds, this boy was suddenly seen in the confluence of the river Ganga. I do not know about the origin of this boy. O preceptor of the universe, you perform the postnatal rites for this boy. O Creator, let me know your predictions about his future according to his horoscope. Sanat Kumara said, even as the ocean said these words, the son of the ocean caught hold of the neck of Brahma and shook it several times. In due course, tears came out of the eyes of Brahma, the creator of all the worlds, afflicted by the joggling and jolting. Brahma somehow extricated himself from the grip of the son of the ocean by means of his hands and spoke to the ocean. Brahma said, O ocean, listen, I shall narrate the future as predicted from the horoscope entirely. Be attentive, please. Since he was able to make my eyes water, let him be famous in the name of Jalandhara. He will become a youth now itself. He will become a master of all sacred lores, very valorous, courageous, heroic, invincible, and majestic like you. Like Kartikeya, he will be the conqueror of all in battles. He will shine with all sorts of prosperity. This boy will become the emperor of Asuras. He will conquer even Vishnu. He will face defeat from no quarter. He cannot be slain by anyone except Shiva. He will return to the place from where he sprang up. His wife will be a chaste lady who will increase good fortune. She will be exquisitely beautiful in every limb. She will be an ocean of good conduct and will speak pleasing words. Sanat Kumara said. After saying so, he called Shukra and performed his coronation. Brahma then took leave of the ocean and disappeared. Thereafter, the ocean with blooming eyes saw the sun, took him to his abode joyously. With a joyous heart, he nurtured the boy with diverse great means. The boy grew into a beautiful youth of exquisite limbs and wonderful splendor. Then the ocean invited the great Asura, Kalanemi, and requested him to give his daughter, named Vrinda, in marriage to his son. O sage, the heroic Asura Kalanemi, foremost among the Asuras, intelligent and efficient in his activities, welcomed the request of the ocean. He gave his beloved daughter to Jalandhara, the brave son of the ocean, in marriage, performing the nuptial rites according to the Brahma style. O sage, great festivities were held in the marriage. The rivers and Asuras were happy. The ocean too became extremely happy, seeing his son united to a bride. In accordance with the rules, he made charitable gifts to the Brahmins and others. Those Asuras who had been formerly defeated by the gods and had sought shelter in Patala came fearlessly to the earth and resorted to him. Kalanemi and other Asuras were pleased after giving the daughter in marriage to the son of the ocean. In order to defeat the gods, they resorted to him. The heroic son of the ocean, Jalandhara, foremost among the Asura warriors, received a very beautiful lady as his wife, and he ruled over the kingdom with the support of Shukra. This concludes chapter 14 and today's reading. Thank you. Jai Guruji.